Why do you always say Shrixon?
Because that's the name.
Is it not Strixon?
Shrixon.
Shrixon.
Why are you shushing?
No, I'm asking why you shush.
Did I shush?
Yeah.
Okay, well, F me then.
Okay, cool.
Shall
I'm
I
just checking.
Shall I just walk out the door?
No, carry on, because we need the question.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Kickpoint, the Golf Gear Show. Thank you for joining us for the hour or more, most likely more, of golf equipment chat. Joe, how are you? And I want to inform the listeners and the viewers about a big change to our lunch schedule here at Winner's Triangle. Tell everyone about it.
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a real... Yeah, it's thrown me, really. We usually go to our little Winner's cafe, don't we? And then Ria and Johnny suggested they'd had a little dalliance with another podcast, I believe.
Not happy about that.
And
by the way, however,
this other podcast took them to the Crown Plaza.
Well, this podcast is doing very well, isn't it? Then clearly, not as well as we are.
You've been looking after Diary of a CEO or something. so off we trotted to a very swanky little lunch place, didn't we?
Sit down lunch.
Sit down. Felt we should be like suited and booted.
You had a
delightful curry.
Still see half of it around your mouth.
Yeah, so bit white beard nowadays. So. Not been dyeing my beard, so when you got to be careful. So like Captain Birdseye, Santa Claus, those type of fellas, you got to be really careful what you eat when you got a white beard because
you Captain Birdseye and Santa Claus in the
Rolf Harris.
The
another one.
Steady, yeah. Let's not bandy ourselves around with those kind of characters, Joe. This week, we've got a long drive ahead. You've been given,
yes,
and I don't know why you
sounds weird. Doesn't
why
it?
have you been given one?
We'll get into.
It's not physically long.
I'll tell you about it another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about another time in a minute.
In a minute, yeah.
What was the other thing we were doing? Oh, there's 2 cracking Ask the Pods.
Good.
Out and you're talking about measuring driver heads, which, bear with us, will be interesting.
You've been burned by this before, claiming that something's not going to be interesting later in the pod about Retief Goosen, where you besmirched the great name.
That was me belittling a human being. Me belittling a concept is
okay, cool.
Yeah,
it's going to be good. We've got
it's
some
going to be
interesting stuff
great
to talk about.
It's going to be fantastic, and that's a jam-packed episode. And thank you for joining us for that. For those who got to the end of last week's episode, did you spot that we had a bit of fun, didn't we? Because we forgot to film the outro. So we thought it'd be hilarious if we switched seats.
And leave the cameras, leave the microphones at different levels and all sorts.
We do have fun here.
Dan was in a different jumper. In fact, you were in that jumper. Oh, it was mad, wasn't it?
It was quite mad. But before we get stuck in, Joe, it's time to welcome yet another sponsor to Kickpoint, the Golf Gear Show.
Who forgot?
The International Series, Joe.
Interesting.
What do you know about this, Joe? Because much like Golf Gear giveaways last week, I've had to do my own bit of research about this, and that's fine.
My understanding, International Series is a series of kind of elevated events from the Asian Tour.
Correct. Well, you've done my job for me.
Almost creates a pathway into Live, does it not? Is that a mini order of merit?
Yeah, correct. Spot on.
And you get some pretty big names. You get a lot of up and comers from sort of the Asian Tour, but also sprinkled in with a few people from Live. And it's go on, talk me.
You pretty much nailed my job for me there.
Okay.
So it's a feeder to the Live Golf League. So especially now there's been relegation, they're vying for promotion now. So it could be one of the names that got relegated, or some of these big names you mentioned, or some of these up and coming Asian players. Pretty big prize funds down there, $2 million purses at each event, often at the national opens of these respective courses in Asia. Season so far, 4 events have been played with 5 to go. 5 events upcoming in 8 weeks with plenty to play for, including that coveted Live Golf League position.
That's serious incentive. Never mind the prize fund there. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow there for some of these players
quite
is
large.
Huge.
It starts with the Jakarta International Championship and culminates with the finale to the series at the PIF Saudi International. Now, there's a headline event in the Philippines, which we are hot-footing.
Going to.
Sam Diaz,
yes,
colleague, friend, Kickpoint co-host, will be going out there for the first event of that stature in the Philippines. We'll be doing some coverage there, and we've got some very exciting content, equipment-based content and whippies to do out there. I'm only teasing it now because things happen and things change.
Go into detail.
I don't want to go into detail yet, but let me tell you, when it comes, it's going to be big for Kickpoint, the Golf Gear Show. So we're very excited for that. Some major champions, that Philippines event, Bubba, Patrick Reed, Oosthuizen, and then in Hong Kong, Paul Casey will be playing. So thank you to the International Series for supporting Kickpoint, the Golf Gear Show. And we look forward to bringing you that content a little later down the line. I hate being vague, but I have to be in this instance.
You have to be. You've got to be careful. You've got to tread carefully with this stuff, Dan.
So thank you for supporting the show. Right then, Joe. Let's get started. I guess this is a mini tested this week. It doesn't really matter what it is, does it? You're going to talk about a long drive ahead. 4.5 degrees. Look at this bad boy.
4.5 degrees. So this has come from Callaway. This is there. So I don't know why Callaway specifically do a lot of long drive heads. So they've had Paradigm heads before. I've seen older ones back in the day. They like Crank were heavy into the long drive game. Crank Golfs, which Bryson, the extra bulge and roll. Callaway, one of the few. I don't see Titleist, TaylorMade, etc. doing this. Wonder why Callaway have hot stepped in there. I'd like to find that out actually. But so the long drive head I've got, not only is it 4.5 degrees, which we'll talk about in a moment, it's a completely different model of Elite to everything else. So if you look on the website, which I'll pop in front of you right now, Dan, we'll pop this up on the screen. So the Triple Diamond Elite, weight at the back, weight at the front to help bring that spin down. And then the other Elites in the range normally, so the Elite and the Elite X, have the weight ports at the back. Oh,
the unfinished ones.
The unfinished weight ports. This is kind of an amalgamation of everything. It's kind of the shape and size and footprint of the Elite and the Elite X.
It's huge.
With a weight port of the Elite Triple Diamond, but without the front weight port. And they come in lighter as well. So because like a lot of driver heads would be around the, 195 to 200 gram mark, because of the length of shaft that these are often going on in long drive competitions, the swing weight would get out of control at around that kind of 200 gram mark. So I think this one came in, it was labelled up at like 188. So we've got scope to add some weight. But let me tell you how this came about.
Yeah, my literal next question would be, what the heck is it doing in your hands?
So I played at Turnberry with James Tate, who is the European long drive champion. He's out competing in the Worlds at the moment. And I know James quite well. We play a lot of these press trips together. And he had his older, I think it must have been the Paradigm, and I think it was 4 lofted down to 2 he was using. It had a kind of a regular flex TPT shaft. So yeah, so back in the day when I used to watch or see some long drives, it was all about like 2 degree heads, triple X flex, tipped this. But I guess what's happened is they've realised that they're missing a trick with the extra leverage and whip of a softer shaft. But the ability to swing something as soft as that, as quick as they do, and not break it, historically, I would imagine have been a problem. But now with better manufacturing and better materials and stuff, they're able to, it felt like regular flex when I was swinging it, incredibly long. Like I said, he had it set up at 2 degrees, and I just said going down about the 10th, probably looking for my latest ball or something like that, and just thought, give me a go with that long drive thing. I bet I can hit it. He's like, no, you'll have a bit of trouble. No chance, Joe. I said, go on, tell me what to do.
Scotland. Everybody.
So he said, just peg it up really high. So he gave me one of his long high tees, and you got to sort of stay behind it and feel like you're hitting a high draw. Drop it inside and try and hit high draw. Mate, I've unleashed this 340-yard carry rocket. I was only about 10 behind him, and he's European long drive champion. I was like, and he's sort of like, oh,
was he a bit sheepish after that?
That's pretty good. And then gave it me on the next hole, same again. Gave it me on the next hole, same again. I was smashing it. Admittedly, we got to 18. I thought I'd solved the world, and I blazed one 80 yards right. It was pretty horrendous. But I promise you, I must have been 20 to 40 yards longer, potentially the normal, simply because the dynamics of it were, I wouldn't be able to use that length that he had, I don't think, in a pro competition, because the local rules generally in PGA comps 46 inches maximum length, but I could max out the length to 46 inches. And because you've got so little loft in your hand, you have to add in the launch yourself by pegging it up really high, getting that attack angle super high. So you're basically trying to create as high a launch and as low a spin as possible. And you transferring so much of your energy of the strike because you're not losing any with a glancing blow of loft. So you're almost kind of hitting it straight on. So if I've got kind of 4.5 degrees of loft and I'm hitting 4.5 degrees up on it, my spin loft, 0, negated. So you're just transferring so much energy and getting so much out of the strike. And I was starting to think, right, it really made me think, I've just hit that really well. And that's a massive advantage. I'm quite long anyway, but I'm not straight. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to not be that straight, why don't I be that straight 30 yards further up the fairway and really take advantage when I'm willing to pull it out? Well, I've been desperate to get hold of it as an experiment. It's kind of like, do you remember when we spoke about Phil Mickelson at his Whitby at the USPGA. Kiowa Island, where he went 47.9 inches, 5 degrees. I think because of that theory, he had a mini drive in the bag, was kind of his bread and butter, get it in play, but still, 280 to 300 yards. And then this absolute ludicrous machine that's just pure distance on the holes where there's just nothing that you can really get in trouble, where you're willing to roll the dice. So it's an experiment I wanted to do.
Superb. I'm well behind this. So
I spoke to my friend Jack at Callaway and said, look, when you get some, even older long drive heads, I want something at about, that kind of 4 degree mark that I can either loft up, whatever. I want to have a little play around with this. And it finally came through. At the moment, it's been initial test stages. Because I've not hit a lot of golf balls and I'm playing horrendous.
Yeah, you said you're playing like a tramp at the minute. Can I have a little...
just truly dreadful. And at the moment, I've only got... But I'll tell you what I do like about it as well, sorry, just while we're at it. Look at the crown. Look at the border strip at the front of the crown there.
Yeah.
It's about a centimetre to maybe 1.5 centimetres wide, whereas the one on the standard Elite, I'll show you, I should have brought it with me actually, it's less than half that. It's really skinny and it looks a bit weak, and it looks like the Callaway chevrons just kind of
falling off it.
Yeah, there's no room for it, and it just this looks a bit more substantial. Yeah. I like the footprint. I really genuinely like the look of the head, and if I can, as I was saying when I was trying it, I've only got kind of X-Flex 45-inch shafts, really 45.5-inch shafts that. Trying to play a Ventus Black in that X tipped an inch, it's really difficult to get it going. So I'm going to try and source something strong. Maybe just start with a stiff or...
What was Tate in, sorry?
It was, I couldn't tell you, it felt reg. So it was a TPT shaft, which are, again, they seem to do a lot with the long drive community. But yeah, I'm pretty sure... They talk about it in different terms. So you'll have heard me talk about shaft frequencies before, and rather than reg, stiff, James is always talking about, the CPM of this is this, and they measure the cycles per minute and shaft frequency. So I couldn't say reg, but he would give it you in CPM, but it was so incredibly soft. You sort of had to wait for it and you could feel it whipping through, and it was trying to time it all up. And if you didn't time it, there's a lot of that in it. But I really do think there might be a middle ground of like, not quite set up for long drive like that, where you're going to get that sideways one, not set up as a normal driver with this X-Flex tipped an inch, something in the middle where I get a little bit of kick and assistance to help that speed, really long, 4.5 degrees. So I can't wait to have a little play around and see how much I can max it out.
And the theory being... You're not hitting it very well at the minute, tend to miss anyway.
It wasn't even around the not playing well at the minute. That's incidental. It was like when I pulled it out at Trump, I've always thought, I've never really, as a driver of the golf ball, it should be one of my big advantages because I'm quick, but I've never really sort of got my head around some people, so a lot of better players I talk to say I kind of had 2 swings. I've got a driver swing and an iron swing. Why would you have the same swing for a driver when it's an inch off the ground as you would for something that's on the ground? I've never really got my head around that. And I think differentiating it massively to the point where you're teeing up very high, staying behind, and almost having this completely different action where you're sweeping it up in the air as hard as you can. It's like almost like a different movement. You've got 2 separate games within a game, kind of, is what I'm thinking.
Because you like to, with your standard driver, line it up out the heel, peg it down, and hit this little choppy cut thing. You're actually saying, yes, this is a funny build and it's a long drive build that we're talking about. You're actually saying, no, let me get it high, let me get sweeping up on it, bring it on the inside, actually change the entire movement.
Correct.
And see if that fixes your drive. The distance is maybe a byproduct of you just trying to find.
But it'll be a large byproduct. The difference between, if you just took my speed, say it was 120, if you just took my speed and turned that from 2, so say at the moment I'm 2 degrees down, 4 degrees left path with a face that's 2 degrees open. Say those are my launch conditions, right? If I just switch those launch conditions, same speed to 5 degrees up, 2 degrees from the inside or straight or whatever, and with a dynamic loft of 4 degrees less than I'm normally used to, I just think all things being equal in those 2 launch environments, you've probably got a 25 to 30 yard difference, same speed, just changing the delivery angles a little bit.
Brilliant.
And that will force me to do that because I I can't peg it down and chop across that because I'll just drill it straight into the tee marker in front of me. So I have no choice but to peg that up about as high,
And how big are his
inches.
big tees?
Oh, his big
James
tees
takes
are big. His big tees must be 3 inches plus, yeah.
Wow.
Proper big tee.
That is big.
It is, yeah. So once you've committed to pegging it up that high, you are staying behind it.
4.
Might be 4 inches.
I think it could be more
possibly.
than 4 because the most you can buy is 4. Not the most you can buy is not a limit, but like the max you see in a pro shop is the green 4 ones.
Okay.
Maybe he's a 5.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask him next
maybe
time I
you're
see
right.
him.
We'll find out.
Anyway.
But yeah, so I'm intrigued to see how that works. And like I said, again, I always talk about me. But I'm going to talk about the UK audience here a little bit. A lot of the golf courses we play, we hear about this a lot in the States. You go and play a lot of resort courses, or they say big ballparks, a lot of room but long. Some of the links courses you play over here, they can be quite wide in parts. Like I'm not going to go and pull that out at Woburn at the Duke's course, for example. So there'll be very few, just be clanging it into trees all day.
The treeiest place.
So sometimes when we're set up in the UK, if you're not a really straight poker of the golf ball off the tee, there's very few places you can really, or I feel comfortable hitting drivers on a lot of the courses I play on regional PGA events and stuff like that. So maybe going down into a mini driver like I've got that I'm really comfortable with and having that as my plan A. And then just when a hole opens up or you've got a chance to be aggressive or, you're on a par 5 where there's another hole that side and another hole that side, you just can't lose a ball on. Well, it's green light time.
I can't wait to see
4-inch tees,
So
absolute
excited.
turbo noggers and just see what comes out because we know
great.
Statistically,
Yeah.
the closer you are to the hole,
Yeah.
the better your scoring is going to be. And with great power comes great responsibility. So I'll have to use it wisely. But I'm
Just
really
don't
intrigued.
become a long driver.
That's not happening. I need a chiropractor on speed dial at my
And a
age.
dietitian.
Yeah, but I'm also interested again to see if this isn't a long drive play at all, but if I've got that and I decide that's going to be a real advantage, we'll say over the winter I'll go and do some speed sticks and go from cruising at 118, 120 to cruising at 126 with a 4. You could have some 350 carries in there, and then all of a sudden you've got a 50-yard plus advantage on the field.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm excited by this. So
I'll keep
we'll
you
keep you
posted.
posted. We'll make some videos if we can about that, or we'll keep you in the loop on the podcast, or follow Joe on social media and Kickpoint on social media. You know where they are. Speaking of driver and driver heads then, Joe,
Yeah.
we spoke about this a lot, and you did a great bit of consumer advice a little while ago, talking about how if you're in a driver fitting, and that head's just working perfectly and it's all synced up, ask the fitter I want that head, because we know that loft tolerances are quite strong, or they could be quite variable, should I say. You've actually been we've said this loads, right? But you've actually been out and tested it with some driver heads, and I can't wait to hear what the results have been. So give some context and let me know what's been going on.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know, those listening may have seen, we've probably all seen loft and lie machines that deal with irons and wedges. You stick your iron in, crank it in, measure the loft, measure the lie angle, and you can get that to within 1/4 of a degree. Less people probably would have seen machines that can do that for drivers, fairways and hybrids. You just tend to have to look on what it says on the head, and that's what it is, to your knowledge, right?
Yes,
Because that's what it says there.
and I trust.
And then you've got your adjustable sleeves from there. That you can make it play at your desired loft. Now, I, being just a very sad man, I've got and acquired what they call, I think it's nicknamed a Della Cruz machine. I don't really know why, but it's a loft
quite
and,
exotic.
loft and lie machine for wood. So and I'll pop it up on the screen now so you can see it. I'll have some imagery of it there. No, it's here, Dan. Here. Just there.
Oh, it's quite cool, isn't
so
it?
that'll be on the screen for you now. And basically what it is, there's a few moving parts to it. It's kind of 3-dimensional. So you've got to get a true loft of a wood. There's a little cradle where the shaft sits. Then we've got a 2-prong piece on the front that allows me to make sure that the face is sitting dead square. So that'll tell me if there's any left or right to it. So you get that prong set in dead square to make sure it's pointing at 0 degrees to get a true loft requirement. Because if it's open, you're going to see a different bit of reading closed. So we get it prong dead square. We use the score lines on the face. So almost all drivers will have, whether it's full groove or some little score lines.
Something that's a straight line on the...
So then you get yourself eye level and you get it pitched to make sure those score lines are dead horizontal. So then you've got your lie angle. So once it's set in square, once you've got it pitched at perfectly sold out correctly according to the score lines, you can start to get some measurements. So first one would be lie angle. You can there's a gauge on the right hand side which tells you exactly where that shaft's coming out. Now, a lot of people say, well, what does lie angle matter with driver? Because there's it's not like we're taking divots, and it's not like it's got to get through the turf smoothly or anything like that. But we've probably spoken about it before, that lie angle has a huge impact, whether you're hitting the turf or not, on start direction. So, I mean, this is a bad example because it barely has any loft. But if I was pointing this at the camera there, I could open the face and my finger would point to the right if it was coming perpendicular off the face. I could close the face and it'd be pointing off to the left. Equally, because it's got some loft, I can just tilt the lie angle and the loft wants to point that way or wants to point to the right. Now, I'm doing this for those listening with the driver head of my finger and showing you how when you change the lie angle, even though the face remains square to the target, essentially you've done your job correctly, presented a club perfectly square to the target. If the lie angle's out one way or the other, that ball is not going to start at the target. So it's crucial to get lie angle correct in driver as much as anything, because again, you're going at so much speed. So any discrepancies there will be magnified. Now, most companies will, stomach's going, that curry's coming back to haunt me.
We can't hear it.
Good. Okay. Well, it just did. So most manufacturers, in fact, all of the ones I looked at that I tested, will also put a lie angle, standard lie angle on their driver. So again, crucial for that particular purpose. But yeah, I decided, right, I'm gonna spend a little time in my shed. I've got pretty much, I can't think of a driver that I don't have available to me, because that's what I test. And I thought I'm going to get, and everything pretty much for me comes in 9 or 9.5 degrees.
Stated.
Depending on what stated, indeed, depending on the manufacturers, what they offer. And I wanted to find out how close all these manufacturers were in both loft and lie. And it was interesting. I'm going to make a full video, and I'm not going to give you names yet. I don't think. Should I? No, I'm not going to give you names. No, it feels like thrown under the bus at this stage. I want to do it.
Speak to them first.
I want to speak to them, and I also want to get some more heads, because there's
you can't just do one head and then call out a company.
Correct, exactly.
Okay, that's fair.
I feel like that would be unfair, although I did do a further experiment and went to one of my local pro shops and measured 3 different heads from a particular company.
Do your kids see you much?
Didn't take me very long. I was just sat in a car. I cracked the window open. And yeah, so my biggest takeaway from all of this was that almost on the whole, lie angles were very questionable.
Really? How far off are we talking?
Up to 2 degrees on a few, which doesn't sound like masses, but when you're talking...
the amount of minutia we go into here, that's a lot.
And I feel like I need to kind of go back a little bit on some of the things I've said about the D2C gap to the major manufacturers closing, and I'm wondering whether, from my early indications of measuring, I'm wondering whether the QC, quality control stuff, is where we might see some stuff fall down, because there's a couple of the D2C brands where
struggling.
Yeah, I had a couple. I had one head in particular that was a stated loft of 9. And obviously I put all these in the standard setting. So we've got the standard loft and the standard upright. And it came out at very close to 11 degrees. So like nearly 2 degrees out. And there's an art to like making sure you're reading in the right place on the loft machine, because obviously most of these faces are curved. So if you read too high up, you're going to see too much loft. If you read too far down, you're going to see less loft. So there's an art to getting it right and moving it about. And I've been through that a lot now, and obviously did the same for each model. So you have to get it pretty close. But yeah, it doesn't do it digitally. So it's got an actual sort of angle thing. So you've got to work out where it sits between the degrees. But it was half of the pointer was getting to 11. So we're talking, you think you're buying a 9-degree driver from this company. Now, this was a D2C company, relatively new driver. And in my testing, funnily enough, you could probably work it out if you go back and read some reviews. I just couldn't stop spinning it through the roof. And so I'm then comparing that driver as a tester to the QI35 9-degree head that I've got, and looking and going, wow, there's like 1,500 revs of difference here. This head's really bad, or this is a really spinny head. And what's actually happened there is I've just got an 11-degree driver in my hand, which is 2 degrees too much loft for me. So That's pretty extraordinary. Another thing I would say, I tested when I went out to a pro shop and tested this with one of the big four. Say
just one of the ones that was on their shelf.
When they had, it was 3 lots of 9-degree heads. In fact, there was 2 lots of 9-degree heads on the shelf, and they had another 9-degree head in the fitting cart. So I got that out again, and that was better. But there was one that was basically bang on 9 degrees. Mm-hmm. There was one that was, I'd have said 9.5 to 9 3/4.
Yeah,
which feels fine. And I don't know what the stated tolerances are. And again, it was almost identical the other way. The other one was probably 8.25. So we're talking 3/4 of a degree either side there. So if you turned up and you went in the fitting cart head, which I think was the one that was 8.25 degrees, you then ordered that driver in, but the third head came in that was 9 3/4. Well, that's quite a big discrepancy, and you're going to see a massive change in launch and spin there. And that goes further into, and this is one of the very established manufacturers. So I wonder how, based on that 11-degree one I measured from a D2C company, it maybe doesn't have the same quality control and manufacturing methods. I do wonder how big the gap is onto the lowest head and the highest lofted head in some of the smaller companies, based on what I saw there, which was basically 1.5 degrees in just 3 heads. So it's just a scary world out there.
Is that the conclusion from this?
I've not been sleeping well since.
Let's talk this out, because
hang on.
There are tolerances,
and let me say, it's obviously not terminal, but so if you ended up in that 9 3/4 head, there's options to go in the in a lower setting.
But I don't want to go in a lower setting, correct. Joe. That's not that's not fair.
And that will affect a lie angle.
I don't want to do any of that. I want a 9-degree head. Why can't they make 9-degree heads all the time?
I don't know.
Because there are manufacturing tolerances in everything. They can't be as precise in everything, right? I get that.
Correct. And they can't possibly dispute that, because any tour van you go on, you'll open the drawer, and these are the pre-selected heads for the most accurate, for the best of the best for the tour pros, and they're all labelled up, and you can see some very different 8.7, 10.1s, all on 9-degree written heads. So we know there's tolerances there, and that's absolutely fine. This isn't like a panorama episode of we're exposing all the brands here.
Everyone knew this was a thing. You've just found actual numbers.
Yeah, that's a known thing. But yeah, I think I should have counted them. It was certainly over 30 heads, because I've got most companies, the bigger ones will have 4 different, at least 3 to 4 different models within their heads. And I think, again, if I start from 9 degrees, pretty much what I get sent, I measured from 7.5 to basically 11, that one that I mentioned to you there. So we're talking, that's 3.5 degrees different between something that's printed exactly the same. And that was an eye-opener for me.
They need to do better. 2 things from this. When I used to fit for golf clubs, you get the one come in, and the person would hit it badly. They'd be like, "What's all this about?" And I'd just be genuinely "Oh, I'm just not swinging it as well today." I'd be like,
I can only fit for what I see on the day.
We agree. You sign the piece of paper, now do one." But I had much better customer service than that.
Do one, please.
But seriously, maybe that all of a sudden they were spinning it up because the loft was so much different.
Correct.
Second point. Do better. Why can't they do better? People are spending a lot of money on
that's
this.
A little hard. No, I agree. People are spending a lot of money.
Why can't they then measure the head when it comes in? They send it out. I'm saying to the manufacturer, right? You've made all these heads, right? People spend a lot of money on these drivers. Why aren't you, when you've made it, measuring it with your Della Cruz machine, going, I know it's stated 9, but it's actually 10.5. Take the 9 off and put it 10.5. Or we get rid of stated lofts entirely, and every time a head's made by somebody, they go, all right, this one's 8.75.
Yeah.
I know this is going to cause chaos for your ecom. Shove your ecom.
We're paying 600
quid for a driver here.
Well, we're not.
We're definitely not. God, no. Ridiculous. But everyone else is. Everyone listening or watching is paying their hard money for this.
Yeah.
You put the time and effort in to tell me what the loft of this head is, so that I know when I buy it, I'm getting the exact one I want. That can't be that hard.
Why could you not? These fitting packs go out to, they're like a fitting cart will be set up and sent to X account. At that stage, can the fitting head not be measured
Correct. There
at
you
the
go.
factory and go, okay, it says 9 because we have to put a loft on, etc. But this one's at 9.7. Please bear that in mind for your fittings, and let us know the exact loft setting. And when you order that through custom, we'll handpick, like you would on the tour van, the loft that is required to match your head. And you could, if you've got whatever 1,000 fitting carts go out, you might have 4 different pots that you pick from of heads. Okay, those are the ones that went out at 9, those went out at 9.5, those went out at 10, and at least you're all singing from the same hymn sheet there.
There you go.
Yeah.
And why do we need stated loft on driver? Why can't when it's made, they put on a little sticker, this is 8.75, you get fitted for an 8.75 head. That then arrives, we'll check it. Oh, it's near enough. It's within 0.1 of a degree. Let's bring our tolerances in and then wipe that sticker off, because I don't care what the driver number is. It doesn't matter. I've been fitted for this.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we're just spitballing the answers here just off
correct. Yeah, this is complete conjecture.
And maybe none of that's feasible. I feel like it is all
I feel like it's very feasible.
I feel like it's doable. It just is more trouble for people.
And they don't want to put the trouble in, and that's fine because you're in the business of making money. But
had I measured all this stuff and thought, okay, everything here is within quarter of a degree, we're not having this conversation. But I'm measuring stuff between, again, not the same companies here necessarily,
but just the industry as a whole.
Yeah, but I'm somebody who tests drivers, and in my garage, the drivers I'm testing at 9 degrees are between 7.5 and 11.
That's huge.
And then I go into the world and report what I find and tell people that's a spinny driver. That one's not I couldn't get it off the floor. Blah blah blah. These are the data differences. Well, that can be proved completely nonsensical by the time that arrives in someone's hands. And instead of the 7.5 that I tested, they get a 10.
Madness.
I found it fascinating.
Really interesting, Joe. And let's speak to the manufacturer. We're going to go see them all in the next few months, releasing new equipment. Maybe we ask them, got any questions at the end of the presentation? Maybe we just go, it feels a bit, I don't want to do it in front of everybody or the media. Why aren't your drivers tight enough? But seriously, I want to ask them, what are their levels of tolerance and why can't they bring them closer?
And we don't get that because we're not engineers, we're not manufacturers. So there must be, surely from what I'm seeing there, it must be really difficult to actually make a driver at a very precise 9 degree. And think of like a tailor-made who stick the faces on after, basically like a carbon face. They make a shell. Those faces have all got to be manufactured exactly the same, same amount of glue.
So make them. Take number out of the equation, make a bunch of driver heads, and then hire some human beings
to measure them
and go, this one's 9.75.
Don't even need human beings. You don't remember at Ping when they put it on the thingy and they just digitally mapped the face.
There you go.
And then you could laser it on.
So don't precondition the driver to be 9 degrees and just whack it on and go, yeah, we that was meant to be 9. Do it, measure it, tell me what it is.
Do you remember? There's 2 things now. We were at a manufacturer. Don't say who it was because it may be libelous. But we were saying about a particular wood that they manufactured that they put a different loft onto the heads. It was a 15 degree 3 wood. And said, look, we make it at basically 17, but no one likes buying 17s or forwards. So we pop 15 on it. Just helps it sell.
I don't like stuff like this.
I was disappointed by that.
I don't like stuff like this.
Like, I want to make my own decision on that. And now I'm then going out there in the world and reviewing that and saying, I can't believe how high they've got this 15 degree to launch. Well, because it's 17. And if the tolerance is on top of that, it could be 18 and a half.
And if you're playing with your mate and you've both got a stated 15 degree 3 wood and he's up in the sky, he's behind you or hitting up in the sky, how's he doing that? It's 3 wood. That says 15, mine says 15. There's a lot of nonsense going on out there. I think all we're trying to do here is not be a D words.
No, just trying to improve the consumer experience.
Exactly, because we're spending a lot of money on these things. And
it shouldn't be a lottery. It shouldn't be I wonder what loft will come through here.
I think it is a lottery.
But also, that's what I said, consumer-wise, you can kind of circumnavigate that by doing what I said and said, look, if you want my £600 off me for this driver, that's the one I'm taking there.
That's the way to completely circumnavigate this whole thing.
Yeah, even down to the shaft, because shaft orientations,
lie angle.
There's
give me that.
There's discrepancies. I'll take that now. In fact, don't let me take it now. Wait till you order it in, then you get a brand new one for the fitting cart. You can deal with what loft head that is. You get the shaft in, and I'll take this.
Are we going to be causing chaos in fitting studios across the world? We have gone worldwide, where every kick point list is going in, and not another one. So another guy's come in and just said, I have to have that one
until it's sorted. But it's not chaos. They can still use it if let me talk you through the process. We go in, you fit me, and I like that driver and I'm hitting it great. Dan, there's my 600 quid. I want that driver. Can you order in a new one for the studio? I appreciate you need that in the meantime for fitting. Keep hold of it. When the new one comes in 10 days or 7 days or whatever, let me know and I'll come in and pick the exact one up that we were hitting because I'm just, the tolerances. Sorry to be a pain, but if you want my 600 quid, that's it. That's not chaos.
No, it is because you've just done that and I've kept this one behind. That's my fitting one and you've effed off.
Yeah.
And this new one's getting all attention and can fit this. In the meanwhile, an hour after you, someone else has come in to be fitted.
And wants that one.
Do you see my problem? Do you see the issue you might be having?
I forgot there's going to be other fittings going on.
Because there's one driver here, you've said. There's like the golden driver.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
So what I'm saying is, as Slack goes off, it's Callaway. Stop. Stop. What I'm saying is,
that's a very good
there's going to be chaos for fitters in the world. But I think we've hit on a really important point here. Some good research from you, and we'll keep trying to follow up on it and see what the manufacturers think.
Also, on another note, I am throwing a midweek party. It's going to be a Wednesday night. So I'm going to do. We're just going to measure driver heads, have some nachos,
few beers,
beers, and just measure some heads.
Get the lads just chat. Just measure a few heads.
Just a few lads sitting around.
You know how men need a reason to gather together. They won't just catch up for a talk. They have to be doing something. This is your version of that, isn't it?
By the way, I haven't even started on fairway woods yet. That's driver measuring.
Do you think fairway's going to be worse?
Curious to see, certainly. Curious to see. So I'll get Sam Diath down for a little measuring party.
You're a long way away in North Devon to come down for a measuring party.
His mum lives in Devon. He'll come and visit his mum, pop over and have a measure.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's a nice little day for you, isn't it? Anyway, good chat. I enjoyed that. That was eye-opening. Hope you enjoyed it too. Right, what are we doing now, Joe? It's time for our favourite part of the show, Johnny. It's Ask the Pod. Thank you. Good.
Better, Johnny.
Better, Johnny. He's on it today. He was still leaning back a little bit, wasn't he?
He was. On his haunches.
Ask the Pod. Ask the Pod.
Check the loft. And ask the pod.
Check the loft. Let's start adding things we talk about.
Remember t-shirt? We need t-shirts. Check the loft.
It's it's a big campaign we're going to launch. It's called #CheckTheLoft. Anyway, time for our favourite part of the show, and hopefully yours as well, because this is when you get to get a question answered by us. Again, we're getting really great, well-informed, clever questions come in via email, via YouTube comments, so thank you for all of these. But this one, Joe, came in privately to me.
Hello.
Yeah, he's bypassed you. Ian French has bypassed you because it goes thusly. Hi, Dan. I know you like to surprise Joe in the podcasts. Maybe this will be one you could use.
Oh, dear.
Sorry, I know you don't like surprises. My coach said he did his PGA training with Joe and Paul Hendrickson. So we were talking that era.
Calling out a lie straight away. Didn't do my training with Paul Hendrickson.
Oh, it's a slow start.
There's a hole in this story.
Ian, it's a slow start.
He's a similar vintage to me.
Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it was within it. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, this is Ian's coach.
Okay.
Alongside.
Second hand. Could have been confusion there.
He seems to remember Joe having a customized Odyssey 2 ball putter. We spoke about how much we liked this last time. Does Joe remember this? And is he prepared to say how he customized it? There's an FYI here. I'm going to let you say... Actually, no. FYI... For my information, our information, he turned the 2 white discs on the putter into, how can I put this politely? The ladies' breasts. And will this be his retro vibe putter when he sets up that bag? Cheers, Ian. Joe, did you do that? You dirty little boy.
Fake news.
Oh, is it fake news, Ian?
Partially
You're
fake
making
news.
me look silly now.
Partially fake news.
Oh.
So... I think I must have been 18, 19.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
Something like that. A little scallywag of a boy. Messing around, combining my 2 favourite pastimes, womanising and golf equipment. And the 2 ball was there. And I thought no one had customised any of these things to this point. So I took it upon my... there wasn't 2 ladies' breasts, as you say. I think disc 1... I had a picture. Jackass was big at the time. Remember Jackass?
Yes.
And I really liked Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
I liked the cut of his jib. So I had a picture of him with
you loved that. Yeah.
With his thumbs up, looking all wacky and jackassy. Cut that out to disc size. Sticked it onto the first ball. And I think the second ball, this is where the breast thing I think comes in, which isn't quite. There was no nudity.
That would be horrifying.
Yeah, I think it was like an FHM or
Dating it wonderfully
Maxim
again.
or whatever.
Jackass and HFM, guys. The early 2000s were a thing.
FHM, not HFM. Don't know where you got that from. I think that's a home store.
You can tell I was big on the old ladies mags.
I think it was Keeley Hazel was the
Don't know who
particular
that is.
model.
Keeley Hawes.
No, Keeley Hazel was the particular model at the
Google her
time.
on a work laptop?
Yeah, okay. And I think she was disc number 2. So I Pritt stick those on, cut them to size, and I sellotaped over the top in terms of kind of to laminate as such for the weather. Because obviously if they got wet, they would have just fallen off. And I remember playing. Yeah, I obviously just thought I was so cool and funny.
I bet you thought that was hilarious
and original at the time. But I must have played with that for 12 months, and I think I won a county championship with it. I remember this is a bad one. This is probably bordering on disrespectful. I played in the English Amateur Championship
with that on your putter
at Alwoodley. I think I got to. I'm going to say it could have been quarterfinals. I think it probably was actually. And I remember I knocked out in the 4th or 5th round or something like that. Gary Wolstenholme, the most capped ever England international, I think the most capped amateur international golfer of all time.
That's a big scalp.
Who subsequently went on to win on the seniors tour, beat Tiger Woods in the singles at the Walker Cup famously, played US Opens, played British Opens. And here's this bleached hair scallywag texting away with his 2-ball putter full of nonsense, raking in putts and sending him home. So I think, testament to how I was at the time, childish. But hey, who knows?
Hey, we've all been 18 years old. Who
knows? Maybe that's the next level of Odyssey will offer some customization in it, because they're like perfect little picture frames. They're perfect little circles.
Let's take I think we've all got boobs on our mind, and then let's take them away and make this more family friendly.
Yeah,
you can just put anything in there. A nice picture, you know, the badge of your football club.
Also, I was just thinking, why haven't Odyssey done like a like a Halloween Harry Potter special? Because they look like Harry Potter's glasses, don't they? So you could just put the little bridge between them, and
good job you're not in club design.
A lightning bolt above for the scar.
I understand the concept.
You with me? No. You can make the whole shaft instead of a stroke into a wand. So you got a wand.
Now you're talking. Now I'm on board.
I think that's a real thing there. But yeah, even so, like pictures of your family, pictures. I don't know. It never caught on, admittedly, but it was fun for me while I did it. So there you go.
So Ian, half true, thank you, and Joe's surprised. Keeley Hazel dated Jason Sudeikis.
Let me know who your boss. I think Keeley Hazel married
Jason Sudeikis.
No, David Walliams first. I think.
No way.
Or certainly went out with him. Yeah, I believe
she was in Ted Lasso.
There you go. We digress. What's next, Dan? You got any more Ask the Pods? Let's move away from the life and times of Keeley Hazel.
Yes, the actual Ask the Pod this week comes from Ben Heen. Hello, Ben. This is innuendo ridden, so we're already in a bit of a mood. So I'm sorry about this, but this is a really interesting question. Ben Heen, hello, chaps. Long time listener, first time caller, and I've been waiting for an excuse to write in. I nearly had to when Dan opined that people shouldn't own/wear black golf shoes. Has he never played in the winter? Yes, Ben, I know. Maybe I was a bit dramatic, but I just can't wear black shoes. I stand by you.
I can't abide them. I'd rather just have muddy white ones that I would clean every day and get them. I'd rather that be the case.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement.
What just happened to Rhea?
Was that a sneeze? Oh, good.
That's how you sneeze? Have you ever had that checked out? Well done.
Good work, camera team, sneezing and farting over there. Right, here we go. Anecdote/spiel pre-question. Another long one like last week.
Good.
Was that last week?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll set myself in.
What week is this?
I don't know anymore.
After rave reviews from JTP and many others online, I recently upgraded my irons from the Ben Ross set I bought off eBay for 50 quid when I first started playing before COVID to a set of Strixon ZX5 Mark IIs.
Why do you always say Strixon?
Because that's the name.
Is it not Strixon?
Strixon. Why are you shushing?
No, I'm asking why you shushed.
Did I shush?
Yeah.
Okay, well, F me then.
Okay, cool. I'm just checking.
Should I just walk out the door?
No, carry on, because we need the question.
Got a great deal off eBay, Joe. Not quite in the phase of life where I can afford a custom fit, and I'm loving them so far. However, maybe why they were such a good deal is that they came with cricket bat lambkin jumbo grips, which needed to be changed for something more standard. As I luckily have access to an air compressor, which is a brilliant opening sentence, isn't
I
it?
just dreaded this. You told me about this yesterday. I was supposed to research this, but carry on.
Oh, you imbecile.
No, carry on. I've got some points to
Okay,
make.
good. Do you want to get googly now?
No, I'm good.
After I luckily have access to an air compressor, who doesn't? Once I had cut off the old grips and peeled off the tape, I was able to simply blow the new grips on by putting the bottom of the grip on, and whilst gently squirting air through the hole at the end of the grip to expand it enough to remove any friction, slide the grip down into place. Piece of cake, and takes maybe 10 seconds per club with no need to worry about any tape or solvent or even a vice. Went for a multi-compound mid-size, as I was aware they may feel a little too thin otherwise, and can confirm I've had no issues with grips moving, etc. without there being any tape. Excuse me, I need to burp. It's not coming.
What is this?
I've got air in here.
You need an air compressor.
Oh, yeah. Question.
Yes.
I'm fairly sure I've listened to every episode. Thank you, Ben.
Cheers, Ben.
And don't recall blowing grips on as opposed to using tape and solvent as an option having ever been discussed. Just therefore wondering if you've ever had any experience of this and if there's any reason why I shouldn't have done this or why it isn't done more other than the lack of access to an air compressor. Appreciate some needy people / wannabe pros need tape to build up, etc. General thoughts welcome, and sorry for any blow squirting based innuendos. Grow up, Dan. Thank you, Ben. Ben, 32 and a half, a fellow North Devon based Newcastle fan.
There you go.
You guys should hook up.
We should hook up.
Yeah, you guys should hang out.
Could come to my driver measuring party.
He can come to the drive measuring party
and bring his
then
air compressor.
And bring the air compressor, Ben, and watch Newcastle together in the Champions League game one night.
What time? Yeah, Ben, get in touch.
What a time to be alive.
Let's hook up. Right. Yeah, blowing grips on.
There's a PS. No, go on. I'll do the PS afterward.
PS now done.
PS further to JTP's recent insistence, I've also recently cut an inch or so off my 3-wood and have a newfound propensity to be able to hit the ball somewhere near the middle of the club. Give it a try, people.
Good.
That's from Ben. That's from one of the listeners. Thank you, Ben. Good work. Great question. What blowing?
Blowing grips on, yeah. So it's, in truth, not something I've had much personal experience with, hence why I was going to do a little bit more research. But it's something I'm aware of and have seen it done. So you know as well as I do, and most people. Let's recap it. So the sort of more standard way of getting a grip onto a golf club nowadays would be to put some double-sided tape on the grip, some lubricant in the grip, be that white spirits, solvents, whatever. Shake it about, pour that over the grip, and then you've got a slippy shaft that you can slide the grip onto, and then that will set that the solvent will disappear. That'll activate the kind of the sticky side of the tape, and that grip's now on over, neatly fitted over the shaft, and is going to stay in place. That's the more commonplace, and I would suggest the only reason, as he said, why it's not more commonplace for the air compressing stuff is access to an air compressor, because that's quite a niche product to just have lying about.
Where would one find an air compressor? Like, what line of work do you have to be in to have one at the office?
I don't know. Must be some sort of manufacturing, I would guess. I don't know whether
it's a fair guess.
You get like the shoe blowers at the end of the round. Do you reckon you could just start blowing on? We blow the leaves off the bottom.
Is that what an air compressor is? I don't know what an air compressor is.
Basically that, but I feel like that wouldn't be powerful enough. I feel like you need to create some
industrial,
real
force.
So yeah. Tell us where you've got access to it. That'd be interesting. But I think there is some function to it. So my first concern would always have been, if there's no tape under there, what's sticking it into place? But then I suppose if the grip's tight enough,
just the friction
and the friction of the rubber against the shaft, you would imagine. And he said there's no movement, right? He said he's not experienced any movement, so that would be that would kind of alleviate that to me. My only concern that I've seen it done before is sometimes if there's too much pressure and it's done for too long, with the grip stretch, and you kind of,
if you're shoving
deforming the grip, and obviously it's going to likely, for the small amount of time you're pushing that air into it, it's not going to deform. And people do it quite successfully. So there's a guy who I know who runs EP Golf Studios, Elite Performance Golf Studios, and I've seen he's got an air compressor there, and he actually, in the fitting, which I think is a really nice touch, he will blow grips on and off in the fitting, so you can try your specific club setup with a mid-size, with a rib, with whatever else.
Brilliant.
So he's not going off and cutting a grip off and then wasting that grip. And I'm just going to pour some solvent on this. We're going to wait 10 minutes for it to dry and try it out. He will walk out the room, 20 seconds, he's back in. That's really
cool.
I think that's a really good touch for a fit-in, because it's all very well picking these grips up on the grip wall and going, oh yeah, that feels nice. But how does it move? How does it move when you're...
Yeah, because you're only holding the grip bit. It's like there's no club at the end.
Yeah, and how is that affecting your shot patterns? But how's that affecting your shot patterns with the club you've just been fitted for? So I think that's a great final touch. Nowhere I know does it kind of on a tour van.
Which is a sign of...
I don't necessarily think it's a sign of it's an inferior way of doing it or anything like that. But I guess there's so many different tape requirements on tour, and the vast majority have grown up just having their grips with tape build up, and just for the sake of just sliding some solvent on, slipping on, and not having a massive air compressor and all the complications that would go with that. I would guess that's what the issue is.
What about when you slide a grip on and it's still got the lubrication under it, and you're just lining it up and you're helping move the Golf Pride logo, for example, wherever you want it. I'm guessing that's hard to do with an air compressor.
I'm guessing it's next to impossible. I'm sure once it's on and you've let go of the air,
well, that's it, isn't it? And you can't do it while the air's in it. So perhaps that's a reason why.
That could be another reason why. And I guess maybe if you're doing that, you wouldn't want to be risking doing that kind of logo up, say on a Golf Pride Tour Velvet, because if you're doing it logo up and that logo's on the squiff and completely, your eye's going to be thrown out. So you're going to have to go, I would imagine, for security there, go logo down. So any twisting or misalignments hidden underneath the grip. Yeah, I might do a little bit more research, as I said to you I would yesterday, but that's my feeling on the topic, and
there we go. Just
feels a lot easier, and like you say, the adjustments of the grip afterwards.
But love the use you mentioned for your man at that studio, because that's brilliant.
Yeah, no, I think it's from a fitting point of view.
Need more of that, please.
Yeah, it's one of the cleverest things I've seen, and it's the only time I've ever seen that in a fitting studio. And yeah, what a lovely extra bit of service, because it's so often in fittings, not necessarily at better places, better venues, but so often in a more standard, like a club fitting or whatever, like a big box store kind of thing. It might just be a question at the end, what grip do you want on it? And it's like, well, actually, wow, that's not just what grip do you fancy? That's that's going to affect how you put your hands on it. It's going to affect how you release it. And moreover, it's going to affect the actual dynamics of the club. It's going to affect the weight, total weight, the swing weight.
We've been moaning about how we need driver heads to be more, the tolerance to be closer. We need more attention paid on the grip that you're using. And before you say yes to a club, you need to have hit shots with the exact grip you're going to be using it on.
I think so.
I think so as well. Thank you for your question, Ben. Very good. And Joe's address is 1
Golf Drive, Weirdington,
North Weird,
Devon.
So you can go hook up for the measuring parties. Right, Joe, time for the What's in the Bag, and we take you back in time and location-wise to the Belfry, the British Masters, where
we're ringing that flannel dry, aren't we?
Well, we had a good day there. We spoke to tour professionals. Now, I know these might not be the cream of the crop, Joe, but I think you'll find Romain Langasque has had a much better career than you.
Correct, and Romain Langasque was a charming fellow, doing very well on the Order of Merit.
Bibby driver.
Had his little bibby driver, which I saw when I was doing a bit of research, because I knew you were speaking to Romain, and we'll get into it, but I see on the first tee at the Open, he's hitting at Port Rush, where a lot of people were hitting driving irons and little chippy things to keep it in play. He's there with driver. I think, crikey, but he's got a little shot where he grips down almost to the graphite on the grip, so far down it, and hits this little punch driver that sort of pitches about 200 and runs out, that he kept referring in his lovely French accent as a little baby driver, which I really enjoyed talking about. Watch out, kind of early-ish doors for a man, big bald fella just walking straight across shot in front of the camera.
There were a few
Romain's just going, "Oh, you are welcome." Very funny.
Good.
Just some good stuff from Romain, and some really interesting older equipment in the bag. So I'm pleased with this one.
Well, good. Well, let's listen to it now, shall we?
Romain Langasque, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to take a look in your bag, and already just looking from the outside, it's quite an interesting one. We're TaylorMade staff, we've got a mixture of old and new products. Yeah. And you've just told me off camera there, you're yes and no to being a bit of a gear guy. You're prepared to try stuff, and you're quite sensitive to things like swing weight, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I would say you give me 2 similar clubs with a 1 swing weight difference, and then I will feel it straight away. So, as you say, I don't like to change club. I like to keep what is working for me, especially shaft. I've been struggling to change the head of the driver this year, so I still have my Steels one that I just loved. So, yeah, 14 TaylorMade clubs in the bag, but a bit of old and a bit of a new one.
But that's great from the TaylorMade guys. I was chatting to Mark on the truck earlier, and I love that about their ethos. So they just, as a staff player, they just want you playing the equipment that you're happy with. Yes, ideally it'd be great if it was the newer models, but they just want you playing with the best tools that can do the job. So that must be great from a support team. Right?
That's why just love them so much. They are here for me to perform as much as I can, and we've been trying hard together. We have been trying with them, and we had some combinations that were very close, but I just couldn't find the confidence that I have with this one. And they were like, you know what, Romain, just play with what is the best for you. And they will prefer me to win a tournament with an old tailor-made driver than to miss the cut with the new one. So at the end of the day, I think this is where we are. And obviously, I hope that the next one is going to be the good one, and then that I can have a bit of more time before the season as well to try. But I have the 5 wood and I like it. So that's already a foot into the new one.
Cool. So let's start at the top then. So original Stealth, 8 degrees, standard loft. I've noticed there's a bit of Sharpie mark on here. We've got 3 grams of hot melt back in the heel. We're in a Tensei 1K black TX 65. Anything else you can tell me about this driver? What is it you love about it so much?
I would say it's a personal feeling. This is as well a bit shorter than a normal driver. I think it's,
when I put it down earlier. Yeah.
So it's because I'm not that tall, and it helps me just to feel confident when I'm addressing it. Overall, I think it's just about maybe just not about the shape of the head and about the color of the head. That when I put it on the ground, it just feels a little bit more drawn than the new one that is looking fade for me, and it's just like a feeling on my eyes more than a face, especially. It's more like a general feeling that I'm just more confident addressing this one than the new one.
What shot shape do you like to see off the tee? Do you work it both ways, or are you a stock mover?
So it's a bit of a strange question for me, because I used to play draw for a long time, and then I get injured last year, so I play driver fade, and it makes my irons game very strong. And I start my wrist is now perfect, and I start hitting draw in January, and my long game goes like this. So now, since maybe a month and a half now, I'm back to fade with a driver and draw with the iron, which was good. So at the moment, it's a fade with a driver.
Okay, cool. And a little one we chatted again off camera about, I saw when I was researching this, you at the Open off the first tee, gripping down with basically your driver, with basically your fingers almost on the graphite of the shaft, and you call it your baby driver, right? Talk me through that shot.
I mean, that shot has become famous about me, and it's a shot that I just love. I think, sincerely, I don't think anyone else has it in the bag. It's a very bizarre shot. Like, I could hit this one 180 yards carry from 250 yards carry. So, yeah, you know what? It's just a matter of confidence. And I used it 4 times this year on the first year at the Open. And sincerely, I couldn't hit
and that's
something
quite an
else.
intimidating tee shot, right? You got outbounds left, outbounds right. A lot of people pulling irons, and you're hitting the baby driver.
Yeah, but I was just feeling that was the shot that I'm gonna hit the fairway every day with, and I was just feeling so confident with it. So I'm using it quite a lot, actually, especially on the links golf course, because the ball is gonna roll so much. One more time, that's another fight with my caddy, because he's always trying to bring a 3-iron in the bag that I don't like, because I have my baby drive and I have a strong 3-iron. So yeah, as I say earlier, I don't like to change club. I don't really change the setup of my bag, depends of the golf course. I change a lot my 58 degrees, maybe every 2 or 3 tournaments. I change it because I like to see it spinning a lot.
But you're not changing the grind or the sole,
Never.
you're just freshening
just
the degrees.
Just a new face, and because I really like it to have the same spin average on my wedging area, and it feels like after 2, 3, 4 weeks using it, the spin is going down, and then I just didn't control the distance as well as I did. And
you'll see that in a minute, because the 58's not even in Romain's bag, because he's currently being built a new one on there.
Exactly. So
cool. So let's move on to 3 wood. So we've got the Stealth Plus, again, so much older model. We're in a graphite design, TP7 X Flex, 15 degrees, standard loft. So again, this one looks like it's been with us for some time.
This one has been with us for a long time, and actually the new one is very, very close of this one, but I think it's just in my mind. I just love this one so much. It's, one more time, it's a matter of confidence, and it fits my eyes as a driver fit as well. So it's here. It's a golf club that you don't use that much, so maybe I have this one for 2 years and it's still very, very fresh. So let's continue with this one for a bit, and let's see if I can get the new one in. But 5 wood is there, and that's one of the favorite in the bag at the moment.
5 wood, yeah. I've seen going up and down the range. I've seen so many QI 35 fairway wood, so it's a really strong fairway wood, right? So again, we're in graphite design shaft here. 5 wood, 18 degrees of loft, set 1 click towards higher. So how far would this carry for you?
This one will carry 220, 225 meters. It's a golf club that I love for, let's say, long par 3 if the green are firm, or just par 5. And I used it as well, like as a grip down in the rough. Sometimes when you have a bad lie, if you hit 8 iron, then you're gonna carry, but you're not gonna get any roll. Where with this, you can get some roll after it. So yeah, it's a golf club like that I can use in many different places. Actually, I used it one time this year at Scottish Open for chipping. So no, it's a essentially it became one of the club I prefer. I like this club going high, seeing the ball high, just spinning and pitching on the green and stop. So this is really the. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Little interruption there, but that's fine.
No, yeah, it's a very nice club, and I expect the ball to come soft of this club and high.
Cool. And then again, so we're going back into some older models in your 3 and 4 irons. You've got the P760s. I know Rory still plays a long iron of this, so quite a popular cult club in this long iron area. What do you love about P760 and your longer irons?
Let's say I think it's just about they are just a bit easier, a bit bigger on the ground. And in the same time, what I like with them is you never get a flyer ball, like a ball that came with low spin or whatever. So yeah, I've loved this one so much. Maybe something we can say is like my 4 and my 3 iron have the same length.
Okay.
So just one more time. It's just about the feeling on the address. And
where does something like that come from? The idea that, right, I'm just going to make my 3 iron and 4 iron the same length. Is that just a feeling you got? I want to try it. So do you take that to the tour track and go, right, guys, I want.
Yeah, if I remember while I was on the range, 4 and 3 iron, I was feeling this 3 iron is too long. Why not making it as a 4 iron? And we did it, and I just love it so much.
When you did that, do you know if they have to add some more weight to the head to kind of rebalance swing weights, or was it just a straight cut?
That's a good question, but I can't reply.
I'll ask him.
So
don't worry
you
about
should ask him.
Right, into the main body of the sets, you've got the P7 CBs. You're in good company. I play these, Romain.
Okay.
P7 CBs, 5 to pitching wedge.
So you're a good player then.
Oh, tremendous player. Project X 6.5 shafts in there. So some of the newer equipment in your bag. What have you loved about these irons?
Yeah, I think they are the perfect fit between looking good and not too big, and then easy to play as well. I think I never play some blade, like some very skinny one. I've always need something a little big, and I think they are the perfect fit. I mean, yeah, the ball flight, the control flight. For me, like hitting golf shot and doesn't have a spin difference between two golf shots is the most important for me, and this is what I had with those club. I play this model for now many years, and I just love them.
Cool. So we're going to wedge. You've spoken briefly about the 52. I want to talk more about the 58 because I looked at your stats. I think you've gone from 152nd in sand saves to like top 10 this year. Was there any reason behind that? Any equipment change behind that, or is that just a technique?
No, it was just the technique. I think I was strong as well, but I was very bad, and then I became strong the last 2 or 3 years. I've been practicing something different that I used to be, and I think the ITO has helped me a lot as well in the bunker, I would say.
So your high toe in 58 as well as 52, right?
Yes.
Cool.
I would say on the 52 that doesn't change really something, but on the 58, I mean, if I give it to someone that has never seen it, it's going to be like, oh, what is that? But then it feels for me like the body's coming out softer of the face. It feels like I have I don't know, but I also have a different grind on my weight. So they took a 7 grind that they bring it to 6, I think, or something like this. I'm a lot of hands player. I like to play feeling. I like to see the shot, and it feels like the ITO has fit my heights very, very well. It has come out, and I used it straight away, and I just loved it. So feels like in the bunker, it has been a big help for me, and I use my 58 on every bunker shot. I never use my 52. Okay. So that's as well something that is proper to me, because some players are using different club, I didn't. Have you always been in that kind of 52, 58 setup? Because you've only got 3 wedges down there, so you're more top loaded in the bag. Actually, right? The 52 is in 51 degrees, but I always have 2 wedges in the bag because I have a 3 iron and a 5 wood. You like to load it more at the top end. Exactly. Cool. You've got a really cool looking putt with a bit of custom French work on here as well. Yeah. How long have we been in this, and how's it performing? I had the Spider for now maybe 3 or 4 years. I mean, I had it before Scotty Scheffler had it, so I didn't go for it because of him, but sincerely, I think you could be excused for doing that if that was the reason. I could be, yeah. No, but I think this is essentially one of the easiest putter to stroke, the most forgiving one, and I just loved it. Essentially, it's a putter I've tried some other combination. I've tried because something you just lose a bit of, but then when you go back with this one, I just feel like for me it's the easiest one to stroke, and it's very consistent. The ball of the face is so consistent, and it feels like when you do a bad stroke, you still have some consistent, which is a big difference with a blade or something else where a bad stroke make a bad putt. I feel like sometimes with this one, a bad stroke can still make a good putt.
Perfect. And I saw you sort of playing around with a couple of training aids before you were warming up there. What's your sort of go-to training aid? Do you have one? Do you like to go through a few?
No, so I always start my session with split hands.
Okay.
Like my whole swing had a lot of hands and we try to manage it. So, and then what you see earlier on the range, it was like something that for me to control the face of the club, especially during impact and after impact. So it's just more like a visual thing that will help me to...
So this was the sort of tennis racket looking thing, so it shows you real
So there is a
face
color
awareness.
on one face and another color on the other face. So this color here, which is the yellow, I need to never see it during my swing. So I can't do this or something. So I need to keep it close and to turn around it, which is like, when I do a bad swing, I do the opposite of this. So I always do this during the warm-up for 5, 10, 15 minutes, depends on how I feel. And then, as I say, I'm a lot of a feeling player, so then I hit ball and I try to see trajectory and to make the trajectory.
Cool. Well, that's great. Romain, thank you very much for your time. And
My
play well
pleasure.
this week.
Thank you very much.
And that was interesting, Joe. Well done.
Did you all catch the fella walking
You
across the
couldn't
front?
miss him.
Big lad, wasn't
Yeah, eh?
he? And absolutely no F's given. Just didn't even
No,
bat an
and
eyelid.
I don't mind it. He's in his world, and that's fine. We're all in our own worlds at the end of the day. There was a lot of unawareness from everybody about the fact we were filming. I don't know what everyone thought was going on.
Yeah, the
You
cameras
thought
for me
you two were just facing the range and talking to each other, but stood away like normal humans do, just stood like that.
And it's not like the
talking to
camera's
each other.
small, is it? Big old tripod setup. So
No.
yeah, remarkable. It never ceases to amaze me, humans. But yeah, loved his bag setup, loved his attitude towards it, loved the fact that he sort of not, the 3 and 4 iron stuff, just pure feel around. My 3 iron just felt so long, so I just went and got him to chop it on the tour van, and then he just got a 3 and 4 iron, exactly the same length, which is odd, but does what he wants it to do. Real feel player, real flair player, and just a really nice chappy.
Yeah, lovely. And I've lost my train of thought. Oh no. Did we tell everyone about when you dropped water down his bag?
I did not drop water down
You
his
were
bag.
near it. Why were you
saviour.
assisting them?
Because I was helping him get it out, because I was trying to win favour. So basically, his caddy or manager or someone had popped the can of water, they had cans, very woke, on the on the top of his tour bag.
Woke water cans.
And then some chap had come across, reached for his driver or like just nudged his bag, and the can had fallen down the bag.
But it went straight down.
Yeah, because it was a
facing
thin
up.
can.
It just sort of went like
So
down
just
his shoe. Went
slid down all the way.
and it was just sat there
And
like
you
that.
can see it clear as day. And I thought, right, I'm going to be clever here. These boys won't know about the special compartment when you go in the side of a tour bag, an interior zip, and I'll just reach in and grab it like a hero. He had an old tour bag, didn't have one of those in. So, oh, God.
Well, now you've kind of half committed to helping out.
Yeah, and I'm involved now. So
This is why I thought you'd done it.
yeah, so
Because you were flapping
as the man with the longest arm of the group, of the bunch, in it went.
Down you went.
In it went, yeah. So it was like, and after a couple of minutes of rummaging around, found all sorts down there, but managed to get the water out, and that was my plan to win favour. So he liked me, ready for the what's in the bag.
And what a story that was.
I'm going to clip that one up for socials, everyone.
Next week, our last interview from the British Masters in August, Nicholas Norgard, who you had a fantastically wonderful time embarrassing yourself in front of. Head to our social media to watch Joe genuinely embarrass himself in front of a tour pro. We're also going to be talking feedback from, or your comments from the direct-to-consumer episode we did, a while ago now, but we had some great comments in from that about brands we hadn't mentioned and general chat about it. So we're going to revisit that next week with some Master Pods about all fit adapters. And you're going to be talking about a club that you bought with your own money, which is a bit weird in your line of work, isn't it? But
Isn't it just, yeah. But I did.
Good for you. Whatever you're into. So until then, thank you for joining us, listening, watching, doing whatever you're doing, listening to us and watching us. And until next week, Joe, thank you, mate. Well done.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Mon ami. Mwah.
Boudon noir.
Mwah.
Boudon noir.
Mwah. Mwah.
Au revoir.
Mm.
Because I am worth it.
Mm.
Is that a wrap?
No, hold.
Hold.
Mm.